We have this from Republican voters against Trump. New billboards are live in Arizona, Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin featuring Republican voters against Trump. I'm a former Trump voter. I won't vote for a convicted felon. Now, I highlighted this and said, this is all pre-planned. You can't get billboards this fast. Now, on Twitter, you don't get the full context in there, but a lot of people said, not true. I can send a digital file and it instantly is uploaded to a digital billboard. Let's break this down for you guys. You have these billboards that are now live, and we're talking about 5 days after, not even a full week after Donald Trump, and including a weekend. So we have like 3 working business days to get 4 people, designed billboards, uploaded, ready to go, sold, etc. It is literally physically possible, but it is extremely improbable. That's my point. When I said you can't get them done this fast, if the word came out that Trump was convicted, and I told instantly, I said to my graphic design team, we need billboard designs for former Trump voters who are saying they won't vote for convicted felons. Start setting it up. We'll find people. You then have to find the people who have sworn this statement or have agreed to use their likeness. They have to sign the agreements and the contracts. You don't, maybe don't use the contracts at all. You say, okay, we're just going to do it. We'll figure it out later. Sure. Then I have to contact my broker, figure out what billboards are available for sale, figure out the total price point, negotiate the price point, and then buy them. Likely not happening in 3 business days. I know because we've spent millions on billboards across the country over the past couple of years. It doesn't happen. Is it physically possible? Yes. Here's what likely happened. Before the convictions even came out, this organization likely already had pre-purchased billboard space, likely already had people lined up with these statements, and already had everything pre-planned. Then when the verdict dropped, they called the broker and said, turn the billboards on. When
they do polls, all I have to do is get someone's name that says that I won't vote, and then they can put whoever's picture. It doesn't matter. They have a name that matches a quote. Doesn't matter if the person's the same or not. So they just take people that they polled and throw it.
It's likely these people are who they say they are, and it's likely they've sworn these statements. But that means, look, if you want me to believe that within 5 days so the day Trump's found guilty, they're running the phones and saying, get me people who will swear the statement. You expect me to believe they found 4 people, designed the billboards, got it all set up in 3 business days? I'm not going to believe it. Sorry.
Well, and the PAC behind it, the Republican Accountability PAC, already has a vendetta. If you're looking at their website, which I just pulled up, they're saying we're Republicans and conservatives who hate what Donald Trump has done to the Republican Party. Like, I bet all of these people post for photos and were willing to say, like, I'm a former Trump voter and I'm not voting for him. And then they were like, why? Can you say it's because they're a convicted felon? Like, they probably checked a number of reasons why they weren't voting for Trump.
I'd imagine this campaign, the photos they got, was in the works a month before. They knew the possibility existed. They pre-planned the whole thing.
Yeah, there's no way this was organic, and I bet you, Tim, that they had a completely different set for if he wasn't convicted for their messaging.
Probably with the same people, though. They're
probably with the same people.
We were former Trump voters, and we're not voting for him. Insert whatever reason you want. Why?
They would have written the jury was corrupted and terrified of retaliation, and we won't. They already remember when they claimed that Trump was intimidating the jurors. They would say Trump was only acquitted because he intimidated the jurors. I will not vote for a man who would cheat a criminal trial, or whatever. That's it. They made it up.
And again, it's the Republican Accountability PAC, meaning that these are other Republicans. It's interesting that this is like how weird this segment of the party, and I don't think it's the majority, is. They are like, they're so fearful of Donald Trump that even in a moment where you could say, hey, this trial was really bad, like he deserves at the very minimum an appeal, they're like, nope, don't vote for that guy.
You know what I love, though? The Democrat messaging on like prison reform and stuff is just totally blowing up right now.
I know.
Because there's a bunch of woke people who are really pissed off about this, and they're talking smack. They're being like, we live in a country that has 25% of the world's prison population, and we're actively working for prison abolition, and now you're running billboards attacking a man for being a felon when we've literally been fighting for the rights of convicted felons for the past, several decades or whatever. I have to imagine if the Democrats' position is that we should grant felons rights and all of these things, then attacking someone for being a felon seems kind of hypocritical.
This is what I think is happening a lot for Democrats or people who identify under the umbrella of Democrats right now. You're completely right. This idea that they have been like, our criminal justice is wrong and too many people are convicted, and now they have to be like, I think I'm on Donald Trump's side. Must be a headache for them. It's hard for them to reconcile. Or again, that video from was it Philadelphia Pride? We have the Pride marchers clashing with
FBI.
with no, not the FBI. With the like no pride until we're done with this genocide, like Palestine rally. I mean, it is interesting how many things in this election the Democrats are having to reconcile on. I mean, we're talking about this a little with libertarians. There are ideological issues that because the party spans sort of a wide bridge, they have to reconcile on. But the Democrats are going to look at themselves and say, we were against the way the criminal justice system operates, but now they're telling us that actually in this case it was all right. Like, which is it? It's either conform to the cognitive dissonance or wake up.
I mean, I want to hope that there is a significant portion of the Democrat voter base that is looking around and saying, wow, all of these things that we were told by our party are just not panning out. I don't know that there is that segment or how big that segment is. I'm relying on independents and people that are not blinded by ideology. I hope that there's enough that see that the way that the left, even the way that they approach, campaigning and stuff. It's not about policy. It's all about attack. It's all about, they're the bigots, they're the bad guys, they're gonna kill people, they're gonna do blah 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 blah. There's no content. And I hope that the American people can see, hey, look, when we actually discuss policy, we can have policies that do help, to some degree. I know you disagree, but that's fine. But the average person is going to consider, look, I want to see the government doing things that is good, that are good for the American people, and we don't see it. And I'm hoping that that's going to be the result in November, but there's no guarantee.
Yeah, we talk about policy the least during an election year. I feel like at that point it's just get on sides and get behind these personalities. But I do think to a certain extent, the concept of a single issue voter becomes really relevant to me here. It's like it's easy for me to say on certain issues, like I would never vote for someone who's on the opposite side of this issue. This is how
First
I feel
Amendment,
about it.
that's simple.
Right, and I think there probably are people on the left side of the political spectrum that are saying like this is my biggest issue.
Yeah, they're
and
like he's a racist or no.
me. Well, or I'm thinking the opposite. Like I believe that the criminal justice system is corrupt and targets too many people, and they're having to confront these trials and say like, if I really believe that, it's not all of them, but I think there are some people who will say like, I don't know if I can align myself here. Just like that should be the purpose of elections, right? Having to look your party in the face and say, are you actually supporting things that I support in, or do I need to move somewhere else? Yeah. Instead, I think we get a lot of like, don't talk about the policies so that we can be like, you should wear our letter and wear our jersey and come to our rallies. And that's the opposite of what the voter should be.
And it is clear
really discerning right now.
This election is definitely a referendum by either side on both of them, right? So like everyone that is not on the conservative side hates Joe Biden and vice versa. And there's such a vanishingly small amount of people that could be persuaded. It's,
I think this portion of Republicans is a subsection that's getting smaller and smaller. You see it more and more as it goes on. The Mar-a-Lago raid, I think that kicked a lot of it off. A lot of like the contentious debates in the primary. I mean, when Nikki Haley is coming out and actually trying to get in Trump's good graces, it could mean she's just angling for a cabinet position, but that tells me something when even Nikki Haley is not like doubling down on some of this stuff.
It's interesting. I think that this is I just don't like these political stunts anymore, right? Like I wish you could ask all of these people, I'm a former Trump voter and I'm not voting for convicted felon. Why? Like you were already Again, I think this PAC was already aware of who you were. What was the actual thing that turned you away from Trump? Because that could be a productive conversation. But instead, it's like, actually, we've all decided for this, we all coincidentally decided this was the one thing just in time to have our faces on a billboard. Like, I don't think so,
See, but like these people are probably neocons.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's the Lincoln Project people. You know what I mean?
They're all they're all related by blood to Bill Kristol.
That's right.
And one is named Kevin Wanker. I'm just going to put that out there.
I feel bad for Kevin Wanker. He spent his whole life being a wanker.
Poor guy.
You know?
Well, it's a respected family, maybe, in the town that he's from.
There's a family that has the last name Hitler,
That's
and they refuse to change their name, and they issue cards called like greetings from the Hitlers. And they were just like, we've had this name forever, and like we're not going to let people take our name from us.
It's fascinating.
It is. They're taking.
But
it
a lot
back.
of people who had that last name changed their names.
And
yeah.
people who were named Adolf,
obvious
right? They changed their name.
Yeah.
And his surviving family members almost all did that, and I think agreed not to have children.
Thanks for watching this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to check out the live show Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. on this channel. Subscribe, and we'll see you all there.